Hello, we are live, and let me make sure we are live also on Meta. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of the Pro Singer Success Collective. So, as you know, my special gift is not just in helping you to find the most powerful, efficient, reliable voice, but also in understanding what you need to do to go from good to great, to go from where you are now in your singing to a much more successful, joyful career, getting the results that you want in your singing, in actually getting the things that you want to get, landing the roles you want to land, doing the recordings, having people listen, all that good stuff. And there's a lot of, I'm just going to say it, so-called experts out there saying that they will show you how to fix your voice and how to grow your singing career. But if you actually ask them to show you how one of their singers did it, it's like crickets. And so if you're looking to really understand what it actually takes to make an impact with your voice, win auditions, grow a fan base, break through to that high level in the singing career that you've been wanting and waiting for, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to walk you through the 5 most important lessons that I have learned and the 5 most important things that our singers know that have helped them to go from being on the bench in their singing to winning auditions, charting on Billboard, getting equity roles on Broadway and Broadway shows, being able to quit their side jobs because their singing careers are thriving. And to be clear, none of these singers who have done all these things, like charting on Billboard, that was Kay Shaver, that was about 3 years ago. Winning equity auditions, that's Liz Williams. Like, this stuff happens when singers move through the training that actually gets them from A to B. But to be clear, none of them were where they wanted to be when they came to us. And so we help them to create the kind of voice and impact that unleashes and launches careers. And so I want to help you guys understand these 5 principles that you have to really get. And these are the biggest things that I have learned over my 25 years of being a professional singer myself and being able to save voices and save careers so that you can grow and thrive at the highest level. Okay. So 5 lessons that I have learned saving 100 singers' careers. Here's the first one. Good technique is not enough. Now, it's important. It's super important, but it's not enough. There is no point in having all this, very high level intellectual understanding of all this good technique if your brain is sabotaging your body from using it in the moment that counts. So our singers understand that you have to train the brain too. You have to train the mind too, because otherwise, all that stinking thinking going on up here, some of which you may realize, some of which you may not, will sabotage all that good technique that you otherwise have from showing up the moment that you need it, from showing up the moment that counts, which is why so many of you suffer from that awful frustration of being like able to nail it when you're in your own rehearsal, by yourself, in your own practice. But then when you get in front of the audition or you get on stage for that big opportunity, it's never as good. Okay. So number 1 lesson that I have learned is that good technique is not enough. Technique does not exist in a vacuum. The only way that that technique will serve you is if you know how to link mind and body, get out of your own way. So all of that good technique can show up every single time like clockwork. Okay. The second lesson that I have learned is that if you're going to be successful in your singing career at a high level, community is essential. Community is essential because, guys, being a pro singer, it can be very isolating and very lonely, especially if you're a recording artist. Like if you're a songwriter, if you're kind of just an island. A lot of times it can really feel like you're just kind of this island out there doing everything on your own, just kind of trying to figure stuff out. And it can feel really isolating. So having community is essential. Having a safe space to experiment, to get up and knock down and fail forward and get up and try again. being with people who are all going through what you're going through, to be able to keep each other accountable, to be able to share resources. Musicians that, you may, if you live in the same area, oh, this guitar player is amazing, this drummer is amazing, oh, this producer, you should absolutely work, oh, here's the guy who books for this club, like definitely reach out to them, oh, this is the person who's booking for this festival, like, okay, shared resources, shared wins, being able to have a group of people who you can be like, oh my God, my win for the week is that I practiced every single day and I did not forget. That could be an amazing win. And those people who are in your cohort, in your community, they know what a big deal that is, because they know that sometimes they have practice reluctance too. So to share your wins and celebrate, right? And also, guys, the pack that you run with means everything. And here's what I mean. If you're running with a pack who's doing a 10-minute mile, then you'll be doing a 10-minute mile. Versus if you want to get faster, then you can't keep running with the pack who's doing a 10-minute mile. You need to run with the pack who's doing a 5-minute mile, so that you're all keeping each other accountable. You're all motivating each other. You're all going towards the same goal. And it helps you to eventually run with that pack, then get there, do that 5-minute mile, because you're with those people who are doing what you're doing at the speed you're doing, who you want to be doing it at, right? So if you are the biggest fish in your little pond, right, then you're not with a pack who's calling you up to the next level. So community can be so important and essential for that, to be able to run with the pack who's doing those next level things that you want to be doing, because you can share resources. You can keep each other accountable at that next level. You can be able to share those wins. So that's the second thing. The third lesson that I have learned, saving hundreds of singers' careers, is that perfect is boring. Perfect is boring. Guys, perfectionism kills careers. And yet so many of you have this analysis paralysis, and you get all in your own way because it has to be perfect before you can XYZ. Go to that audition, record the thing, put yourself out there, start doing shows, right? Because you think you have to be perfect. But I will tell you, after being on the other side of so many auditions, coaching singers, being, watching so many singers try to come up in the world, perfect is so not interesting. I've seen singers sing, especially in the opera world, what you might consider a flawless audition, right? Like no hair out of place, metaphorically speaking, every note, everything, and yet I wasn't moved. It wasn't interesting. It didn't pull on my heartstrings. It was technically perfect, and yet it was utterly uninteresting, utterly boring, didn't hold my attention one bit, okay? And yet I guarantee you that singer has been working on that perfection, and yet it's not what's going to take him or her to the next level. Not to mention the fact that when we are wrapped up in all of our perfectionist tendencies, most of the time it ends up holding us back from that performance that would be interesting, that would pull on our heartstrings, because when we're trying to be perfect, we're not allowing ourselves to be ourselves. When we're trying to be perfect, it's this idea of what we think you need to hear in order to hire us. It's what we think somebody else needs to hear to buy our record. And so all of that is interesting about us, that is unique about us, gets completely tamped down, right? And it might feel to us like we're being, quote, perfect, right? But we don't get the essence of you as the audience. And so we're not now drawn to you and connected to you. Not to mention the fact that most of the time, guys, perfectionism is just rooted in fear of failure. It's our answer to how not to fail. If I am perfect, then I will avoid losing what I have or not getting what I want. It's our mind lying to us. It's our mind trying to control the outcome. And the way that we're going to do that is if we are perfect, then we can control the outcome. If I am perfect, then I will get the role. Then I will sell 1 million records or whatever it is, right? If I am perfect, I will avoid the pain of losing what I have or not getting what I want. But see, here's what happens. With that perfectionism, see, now your mind is fixated on doing something that is actually impossible because you are trying to reach an unattainable standard. There is no such thing as perfect. Intellectually, you know that. And yet the fear-based mind has convinced you that if you are just perfect, that you will get what you want or you won't lose what you've got. And so now it's set this standard, this unattainable standard, but in doing so, it has completely set you up to fail because it has set you up to think that you have to be this thing that is literally impossible to achieve in order to be successful. So then you end up feeling like it's never good enough. You never reach the thing because the bar is always moving because perfectionism doesn't exist. So it's never good enough. And now because it's never good enough, and yet it has to be if you're going to get what you want because the perfectionist lie is telling you that, now you're in make, force, do, manipulate, control in order to get that thing. And you're too in your head trying to make it perfect. And then your performances, like I was saying, they don't make that kind of impact. They just don't, because you're not actually being authentic in your special, unique energy that only you have, because you're trying to be this other attainable standard that's just impossible. And so then you don't win the auditions. You don't make the record that millions of people listen to. And yet you've now like completed the negative feedback loop, because now it doesn't succeed, which means that, oh, it must not have been perfect enough, which means that now the next audition you go to, or the next record that you, the next song that you record, you're going to be even more in those perfectionist tendencies, trying to force, trying to control, which take you even further away from what really needs to happen for you to connect and make that impact. So perfectionism, guys, is the third thing. Remember, perfect is boring. Perfect does not exist. Okay. Now, the fourth thing, the fourth lesson that I have learned saving hundreds of singers' careers is that fear will take you down every time. Every time. Fear affects your technique. Fear affects your ability to make an impact on your audience, in your performances, your auditions, your recordings. Fear affects your ability to make and take opportunities and put yourself out there. It affects your willingness to invest in your singing career, to take inspired risks and the things that really will move the needle, okay? It affects everything. Fear-based thinking, your body reacts to. So in the moment of singing, you're now in your contraction, in your forcing, in your fear reaction, in your fight, flight, freeze. And that is not where the efficiency of your energy and your technique lives, okay? When you're in that place of needing to prove because you're scared of if you don't make it, then you're not good enough, or you're going to just lose your dream or have to end up being at your crappy day job forever, all those fears, right? This is why so many of you get such nerves and you're all in your head when you sing, because there's too much at stake. You feel like you have too much to prove because you're too terrified of what will happen if you're not enough, if you don't make it. And so your ability to connect with your audience is completely blocked. And then, of course, you don't make that connection. And then you've actually created the thing you were scared of in the first place, which is the career that's going nowhere. Okay. And then you don't take opportunities. You don't create opportunities for yourself. You don't put yourself out there. And then you stay stuck where you are. Even your willingness, like I said, to invest in the things that will make the difference in your career, to take those calculated risks, those inspired risks with your time, with your money, with your energy. Without doing that, again, the fear of, will it work? What if this happens? What if that happens? It keeps you from taking those risks, so making those moves. And then, of course, you stay where you are, okay? So that's the fourth thing. Fear will take you down every time. That is a lesson that I have learned over and over again, and I have watched my singers learn over and over again, sometimes the hard way. And then the fifth point is there is no substitute for resourcefulness. That is something that I have really learned in my own life, watching our singers. There is no substitute for resourcefulness. You guys, there is always a way for the committed. And those who are committed to making a life out of their gifts, to singing on big stages, to getting out of the side jobs that they hate, to fixing the issues with their voice so it feels easy and free and they can rely on it every single time. Those who are so connected and committed to what they want, they get resourceful. They get resourceful with their time. They get resourceful with their energy. They get resourceful with their finances because they get that everything that they want is just on the other side of their comfort zone. And so if they're going to get there, they got to get resourceful. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I've had a singer say to me, Arden, I want to come to the intensive, but I just I just can't afford it. And I'm like, okay, that's a circumstance, right? But that's also a circumstance that resourcefulness can overcome. I don't care how in debt you are. I don't care if you have negative thousands of dollars in your bank account, okay? What I care about is, are you sick and tired of not being able to deliver when it counts? Are you sick and tired of watching other singers up there on that stage doing what you know you should be doing up there while you're sitting there in the audience? And are you ready to do whatever it takes to get the help you need to fix the problem so that you get to be up there too, living your gifts, living your dream? And there's a million ways to get resourceful, you guys. I have had singers when it comes to time resourcefulness, right? I've had singers who have kids, multiple kids, right? Getting resourceful for when they practice, for how they carve out their time, for time blocking, for being really, really boundaried around what they do, when they do it, and how they get help, again, to get resourceful around their time. Same thing with money. There are personal loans. There are friends and family. There are Kickstarter campaigns. There are 0% interest credit cards. There are ways to save $100 a week, $400 a month, right? There are ways to do this if you are committed and serious. Resourcefulness becomes really easy because you just learn to take the next indicated step and not to take no for an answer. The singers who succeed are the ones who are resourceful. They get that. Which leads me to my last point here, which is that sometimes we need help with these things. We need mentorship. Guys, investing in mentorship is the smartest thing you can do because oftentimes we're too close to our own crap, to our own issues, technically, mindset-wise, all of it. We're too close to it to see it. And so if there's a pothole, we're going to fall into it every single time. But with the right mentorship, you have somebody tapping you on the shoulder and being like, hey, that thing that you want that's just on the other side, there is a major pothole right here that you're going to fall into, whatever that may be. And to be able to start to help you to see these things for yourself so that you eventually don't need mentorship in the same way, right? I myself have invested easily a couple $100,000 over the course of my singing career from the time I was 20 until now in really high-level supportive mentorship, be it in the form of technique coaches and teachers, be it in the form of mindset mentors and coaches. And I still do it, you guys, to this day, believe it or not, because I have next level things that I'm working on in my own life, in my own career. And I recognize that if I want to go there, then I need somebody who's been there and knows how to do it to show me the way, to show me the potholes I'm going to fall into, to teach me the lessons that they've learned, to hold my hand when I get scared and I want to crawl back into my shell and I don't want to be resourceful, or I want to let fear take over again, or I don't think that there's a pathway around what my challenge is, right? This is why mentorship is so important, because when we go it alone, we oftentimes take longer and spend more time, spend more money, spend more energy making these mistakes, falling into these potholes, rather than having an expert mentor just be like, oh yeah, the shortest point from A to B, this is your straight line. And I see the pothole and I'm going to make sure that you just hop over it so that you actually get where you go faster. And in the long run, you spend less money, you earn more, and you do it in a shorter period of time with a hell of a lot less suffering. So guys, these are the things that I have learned. My biggest lessons over the course of my 20 to 25 years in this career. And I wanted to share them with you because I want to make sure that you get the benefit of all the knowledge that I have and all the potholes that I've stepped into and had to learn all these things the hard way. So if you're a singer in our tribe and you're listening to this and you're like, okay, I'm ready. I'm serious. I'm ready. I'm ready to invest in myself. I'm ready for the right kind of mentoring. I'm ready to stop falling into the same potholes. I know that I have talent. I know that I have something to give to the world. And I've taken it as far as I can go, given the training that I've had up till now and the experiences that I've had up till now. And I'm ready to go to that next level. If that's you, then I want you to book a discovery call with me. So this is a free call, okay? But this is for singers who are serious about getting to that next level now and wanting our help to do it. And I will share with you the strategy that we use with our singers. And if it feels like that's aligned for you, amazing. I will show you what that means moving forward. And if you want to come train with us, then we'll talk about it. And if not, that's okay too. You'll have some really clear distinctions about why you are where you are, the path for you from A to Z, the steps you need to take to get there. And if it doesn't feel aligned to work with us to do it, that's okay too. Okay. But if you're watching on Facebook, I want to put the link to book a call in the chat so that you can grab that and get on my call calendar. Okay, we'll talk for about half an hour, 45 minutes. And if you're watching on YouTube, the link to book a call is in the video description copy for you. Okay, so again, I want to make sure that you guys understand that my North Star is what you have decided is your highest light of an experience in your singing career, whatever that is, whether that's being on stage at the Met, whether that's selling 1 million records, whether that's leading worship in front of 5,000 people, right? But if where you are right now is really difficult and frustrating for you because you don't know how to get from here to there, and you recognize that there are issues with your technique, with your reliability, with your mindset, ways in which you're sabotaging that you don't even notice, but you understand that there's a next level in there because you've seen it in bits and pieces. You know, it comes out here, but then you don't know, why did that performance come out so amazing? And then the next one is like not, right? That unreliability. This is the stuff that when we train holistically, when we work mindset, technique, and artistry 360, get singers a heck of a lot farther, a heck of a lot faster with a whole lot less suffering, because that's the kind of expert mentorship that I bring to the table and that my team brings to the table. And that's why I'm out here shouting from the rooftops all the time. There's a different way to train. There's a different way to do it. But if you haven't experienced that and you're a little skeptical and you're like, well, Arden, I want that. Like, I've been a professional for a while, but I'm not really making that much money at it. I don't win a lot of auditions, or I'm putting out records and like, I'm not getting a whole lot of gigs and they're not very high paid, and you're frustrated, right? And you're like, I want to go to that next level and I just don't know how to do that. That's what this call is for. Also, if you've had a lot of frustration with your voice, where you've been dealing with the same vocal issues over and over for years, whether it's vocal fatigue, whether it's inconsistency, whether it's stuff with breath, pitchiness, whatever, and like you recognize that it's affecting your reliability, it's affecting your confidence, it's affecting your ability to make that impact because you're not winning auditions, really. You're not performing at that level and getting those higher level gigs. That's part of this. So get on my call calendar. Let's talk. Let's talk about where you are. Let's talk about where you want to go. And let me explain to you how we do that. And if it feels like a fit, then amazing. We'll talk about what the program looks like. And hopefully you can come train with us starting next week, right? And if it's not a fit, like I said, that's okay too. You will have some great insight and we can part friends. So again, the link on Facebook is in the chat. The link to book a call with me is in YouTube on the video description copy. And don't be shy, guys. If you've been watching my lives and you're like, oh, I think I want to talk to Arden, but I don't know, and I'm shy and whatever, like, don't be shy. We're here to support you. And the only way we can do that is if we know where you are, what you want, where you want to go, and the big issues that are stopping you. So I just want to make one little caveat that this call is not for newbies, meaning if you've if you're just starting out in the sense that you've never performed, you've never taken a voice lesson, you've never, engaged with your singing in any real serious way, this call is not for you, okay? But this call is for singers who are serious, who are in the game. You are auditioning, you're recording, you're rehearsing, you are practicing, and you recognize that despite all of your training, you're still stuck and you've plateaued in that same level, and you don't know how to get to the next level of more gigs, higher level gigs, winning higher level auditions, getting those equity auditions, working high level A and B opera houses if you're an opera singer, getting millions of plays on your recordings, right? That's what we're here to talk about. So if that's you and you're in that hustle and you're not seeing those results, let's talk. All right, everybody, have a wonderful rest of your day. Go take these lessons I've learned and put them into your own mind and body so that you can avoid these potholes. And I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.